Bitch, fuck you. Fuck your dumbass black slaver. And fuck your dumbass black slave. Kill each other until you pay me. Then you'll come up with enough money. James Christopher Blackwell is your leader. Follow that bitch. Kill more people and pay me, bitch.
Path to zero carbon emissions.
The quicker you kill them, the quicker I can get paid.
Was just how many people kept pouring in and pouring in. There almost wasn't enough room inside for all the people that showed up. Take a look. This is what it looked like when the meeting got started. Full house in that room there. And a lot of those people you're seeing, some kind of storm damage to speak of from that March 24th round of severe weather. At the front of the room, you're seeing officials with FEMA, MEMA, the American Red Cross, and the Small Business Administration. State Representative Benny Thompson was also scheduled to be there, but had a family emergency that prevented him from attending. Of course, their main goal was to give people answers about any type of storm assistance or relief available or that they need. Now, both FEMA and MEMA say that they are committed to sticking it out with the people of Montgomery County and throughout the state until they can rebuild better than they were before the storms hit.
This is a marathon, and so we're going to be here to support. It's a long ride. We're going to be here, and so just know that we'll be here to support and work with all our local agencies, local parties to make sure we support through the process. So we know it's not just.
I'm trying to hang your dumb black ass for treason.
A three-week deal, but we got to make sure we right.
Cause
almost 3 weeks later, there are still just a lot of people hurting, waiting.
Get in my way, cause
for just a little bit of relief after so many people lost their homes. Some
see if I give a fuck about you being my cuz.
Families even lost family.
As a matter of fact, a week from today.
I don't remember any of my cousins being told to go pick up a uniform and badge to be a fucking faggot.
I'm sort of feeling calm about this. This is actually a leak that could have a real impact.
Or Republicans.
But if you want to stand in line over there with the faggots, please, by all means, make it look equitable.
In Ireland, Jackie Heinrich, Fox News.
Federal politicians pass a 6-week abortion ban, and Governor DeSantis is respectful to sign it.
You goddamn right. What you gonna hide? You think you don't see me trying to knock my mama over to get to your ass, so you gonna hide behind my cousin because he pumped up with steroids? Okay.
Appeal controversy. A federal appeals court has
whatever works for you, bitch. Whatever works for you.
That suspended the Food and Drug Administration's approval of mifepristone.
Pursuant to your rules, all is fair in love and war. And if it's a war between me by my motherfucking self and your big ass faggot, all is fair.
A constitutional right in the United States, reversing a prior
including sleeping your dumbass slaves.
Mortgage rates fall for 8 weeks straight. We'll tell you what this could mean for the housing market.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo those smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care.
Remember that, you faggot. In America, we got rules. Over here where you want to fight, ain't no rules, bitch.
With an entire crew of 5 grand guys. Get in here, see any of us. We guarantee to beat any competitor's price by 500, or me, or any of these 5 grand guys will put 5 grand in your front pocket. We're loaded with inventory, Carlock Toyota, Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders. We guarantee to beat anybody's bill by 500, or me, or any of these 5 grand guys will put 5 grand in your front pocket.
Some law firms make claims they're bigger and better. We get cases that the
WTVA's Sammy Roebuck has the story.
The festival is typically held around downtown Main Street, but because of the destruction left from the tornado, it has to wait. Their first one since COVID was held last year.
I mean, it's hard because last year was really great because it was our first one in a couple of years since COVID, but it is going to be missed just because we are so used to having it as kind of like a tradition around here. But with everything that's going on, completely understandable. People need to, get their things back together.
Business owners and locals across Main Street are already missing it.
It's been a big to-do for a lot of people here. If businesses shut down, families come from all around the state of Mississippi just to come to the Railroad Festival here.
It's kind of sad because we look so forward every year to having all the different people from around to come visit our little town. But we're hoping
You're looking for somebody to lead your big ass faggot. You better check the motherfucking kids. I'm not the one. There's a soul for a reason.
To come, and people come in from out of town, and it's just really exciting to have that. So I would say overall, just disappointing. Abby McDuffie works as a barista at the Coffee Pot. She says last year's festival brought big business.
That's probably our busiest time of the year. Last year, we made probably the most money on Railroad Festival than we did most average days. So we were pretty back to back then. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be missed this year.
Mortgage rates fell for the 5th straight week, while mortgage applications climbed last week. The average on the benchmark 30-year mortgage rate was 6.27%, according to Freddie Mac, which is the lowest since February. Mortgage demand is up, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's latest weekly report. Juul will have to pay millions to several states across the country. As officials say, the popular electronic cigarette company failed to disclose some important information about their products. Fox LaMonica Peters has more.
We won't stand by and let e-cigarette companies put their profits over the health and well-being of our children.
Juul is accused of marketing its vaping products to young people, even providing free samples when it first launched and not disclosing that the product contained nicotine. Juul has faced a number of lawsuits across the country, and this latest $462 million settlement includes payouts to California, New Mexico, Colorado, Illinois, Massachusetts, D.C., and New York.
Taking a page out of Big Tobacco's playbook, Juul misled consumers about the health risk of their products. The e-cigarette company falsely led consumers to believe that its vapes were safer than cigarettes and contained less nicotine. However,
if you know how your motherfucking product works, why the fuck do you need an attorney to go and spend billions of fucking dollars for a government to tell you your product work a different way? Bitch, we don't work together. And you stealing my shit, man, you still lose your money, Mr. Morris.
just one pod of Juul contains as much nicotine as a whole.
Or harm you're going to cause later on down the line. Well, what's that going to mean for somebody in the future when they can't afford to deal with it?
You will never afford to buy me as an attorney, which is why I did not choose that as a career. You cannot afford it.
For you to say that out loud in front of people Because this
Buy what you can afford.
I'm here for you. I'm Nora O'Donnell with the CBS 18 News.
Thank you for 20 amazing years in business. Room to Room is having a huge celebration so you can save big. Store-wide savings up to 70% off, 2-year special financing, and gifts for everyone. It's a celebration of savings and cash gifts you don't want to miss, only at Room to Room.
When I think of ICC, I think about home.
The moment I stepped on campus, I knew it was a perfect.
Bitch, I see insurance fraud even when it's you. It's old dumb fraud. It ain't even new experience fraud. You just programmed old dumb fraud into the damn computer so that you can go on fucking vacation while you do it. You're an old faggot.
They immediately went to, we're going to destroy your life. Your life is over. Body love is going to disown you. The mountain was built immediately in front of Walker. Continually saying, we need the money, this is stopping to get us the money. I don't have any money is what Walker's telling them. I live in the country, I live in the middle of nowhere. Just leave me alone, please.
Phone records show it's the first time Walker ever interacted with this profile, but over the course of 2 hours, it would be his last.
But then they start sending screenshots where they've got the video in the screenshot and in a message that they're sending it to people that Walker knows in his friend list. They've never seen those messages as far as we know.
They're just making it look like.
They're making it look like it, right?
He begged them to stop. The last contact it looked like they shared it with his mom.
And after that response, well, I'm just going to kill myself. And just as heartless as you could imagine, they said, well, go ahead because you're already dead anyway. I went in to say,
you goddamn right.
You got my hand going.
I'm out this bitch on the next motherfucking thing smoking that gets me to a cop outside the state of Mississippi to write down the police report that I just sent to the fucking IRS. You best believe I'm catching the next thing smoking, bitch.
Point during that time.
You can believe whatever the fuck you want. So you better steal some more money. You better steal some more money because it's another test coming for more cops. Do you know how to lock up motherfucking thieving ass government officials or only niggas?
Person is
Southeast Asia, and these things are happening online. So to be able to track down the IP addresses, to go through the whole judicial process of indictment.
So get prepared,
and then location
paparazzi. We ride, bitch.
What is the advice from a law enforcement?
And if this happens to your team, report it immediately. You can contact the FBI directly or a local law enforcement. We're going to go ahead and segue to a lighter note. Meteorologist Ashley Bryant has tonight's first look. Ashley?
Thanks, Winston. We have seen heavy cloud coverage, showers, and cooler temperatures today compared to how we began our week. Right now, temperatures are sitting anywhere from
First Alert Forecast is brought to you by Alpha Insurance. Call Alpha Agent Heath Fasackerly in Columbus for all your insurance needs.
Living each and every day in your own special way.
Vacancies are open.
I'm looking for a faggot to ride right now. Load him up.
Available at Bedford Suites and
Have it this summer. Grab your mom, friends, come enjoy some dinner or lunch, and then come enjoy these awesome drink specials. Thank you so much, and we'll see y'all
Thank
next
you.
time.
Columbus Nissan has the all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya, Nissan's first electric crossover. It's the ultimate mix of style and technology and a new way to experience electric driving. Get yours at Columbus Nissan, where turning and loose.
When I got seriously injured by an 18-wheeler truck, I knew I needed Team NST.
At NST, we know trucking law to help you get paid.
NST Strong!
At Nehan Saharovich and Trotz, we work to get you lots.
Your child deserves the best, especially where their health is concerned. For nearly 40 years, Children's Health Center of Columbus has had nothing but the best in mind for your child. We offer the convenience of telemedicine from your own home. We have in-house labs and we do x-rays, so you can get faster care and results for your child. From newborns to 21, we know kids and we love kids. Learn more and schedule online 24/7 at childrenshealthcenter.com. At Annunciation Catholic School, we inspire innovative minds and compassionate hearts in children every day, teaching the whole child in an environment centered around Christ, character, and community. Annunciation is committed to the STREAM educational program designed to equip students with the knowledge and skills they need to be successful in their future education and careers. You and your child are always welcome at Annunciation Catholic School. Please call or apply online today.
When Sanctuary Hospice first began, we had a goal of providing the best hospice care possible and treating people like we want our own family treated. Since 2005, many people that you and I both know have come through these doors, but the doors won't be able to stay open without the support of our home hospice team that comes to your home and provides excellent hospice care. If someone you know needs hospice care, tell them to ask for Sanctuary. They'll be treated like family.
COVID is still out there, and so are you. And you could be out there with fading protection, but an updated vaccine restores your protection, so you can keep doing you.
At Columbus Nissan, we've got a great lineup of crossovers and SUVs, and you'll find one that fits your lifestyle. Make your choice from the Nissan Kicks, Rogue, Murano, Pathfinder, and Armada. Get yours at Columbus Nissan, where turning and loose.
Telling your story on WCBI Sports with John Sokoloff.
The Tennessee Titans held a press conference to officially announce defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons' extension. The former Knoxville County and Mississippi State Stars deal is 4 years. Four earned runs or more.
Successful participants are guaranteed an opportunity to apply for a paid internship at International Paper. For more information, call the Communiversity at 662-243-1803.
In the future, everything will be powered by renewable energy, but it's not as easy as flipping a switch.
It's a long road, requiring decades of time and trillions of dollars. But what if there was a better direction on the path to zero carbon emissions? An energy source that's available right now, that's affordable, plentiful, and environmentally friendly. There is, and it's propane.
It was a special place because it was the place that grounded Elvis. That was his home before he became, a superstar. And Lisa was one of those that would come back, especially when Janelle McComb was alive, who was a family friend. She would come stay with Janelle for days at a time and just be a normal person. One of the things I think is so amazing about Lisa is from the day she was born, she was front page news. Everybody knew her name.
The bench will remain in the event center for a couple of weeks before it is placed at the Reflections Pond. All right, Ashley, there's a lot of sun ahead of us, so let's talk about it.
There is, but we have to talk about rain first.
Super Bulldog weekend, Grove Bowl.
Over the years, I've seen what Lord.
Properties from the Thomas family in 2014 for over $133,000. One of them, a single-story home on this block in Savannah, Georgia, where Thomas spent part of his childhood and where Thomas's 94-year-old mother had been living. A decades-old federal law requires disclosure of financial transactions over $1,000, including real estate sales. But Thomas's 2014 report, which lists paid teaching gigs, travel reimbursements, even a gifted $530 stained glass medallion, shows no real estate deal with Crow. It follows news last week that Thomas accepted lavish trips from Crow, personal friend, but not disclosed for over 20 years.
Justice Thomas said last week he's always sought to comply with the disclosure requirements. No response, though, yet to this new reporting. Meanwhile, Harlan Crow told us in a statement that he wanted to purchase and renovate those Thomas properties to preserve them as a historic site. Devin Dwyer, ABC News, the Supreme Court.
Devin, thank you. The Indiana warehouse fire spewing toxic smoke into the air is finally out. Officials in Richmond, Indiana say it was extinguished Thursday ahead of schedule. An evacuation order, though, remains in effect. The focus now is on collecting air and water samples to determine when residents can return home. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
Well, this morning there is a new spin on a New York City staple.
Philadelphia cream cheese and New York.
That's a fucking shit. The fucking lawyer goes to Ching at Genocide, and the fucking traveling journalist slaps her hands together like she's counting cash in her brain in her sleep. You
H&H
bitches are
bagels have
sick.
combined to create a.
You cannot find nothing good to make a goddamn story to hide as a story. You got to hide genocide, bitch, and make a story out of hiding genocide. You fucking faggot.
A friend of Vallow Daybell, Melanie Gibb. Gibb said Vallow Daybell believed her to be Satan or possessed. Gibb also testified that anytime someone would become suspicious of Vallow Daybell, she would refer to them as a zombie. Gibb said Vallow Daybell also referred to her kids as zombies.
The tenure of one of the NFL's most controversial owners is about to end. Dan Snyder has finally reached a deal to sell the Washington Commanders for a league record $6 billion. He and the club remain subjects of a league probe into sexual harassment and financial misconduct. The deal with Josh Harris, co-owner of the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers, the NHL's New Jersey Devils, and a minority owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, that deal still has to be approved.
Well, in Denver, police are asking for help in finding the person who decked Dinger.
I don't pick your soul, bitch. I don't pick your souls.
Dinger is the Colorado Rockies' dinosaur mascot, and a fan tackled him during Monday's game against St. Louis. Don't worry, Dinger is okay. Police released a picture of the suspect, though, seen a beer. He's wanted for simple assault.
Ah, mascots, they're there for fun.
Poor Dinger.
Poor Dinger. Took it. So many people have seen it so many times over the years, over the decades.
It doesn't get old, though.
It doesn't. For years, including even from dead people.
I love it. I love having to put it in and making that sound. It takes like 10 seconds for everything to process.
It's got to be the best job in the world to assign a bitch to hang for you. It's got to be the best job in the world. Just hide, bitch. Will you go put on that noose and die for me? Good job, sea crawler.
Is getting involved.
And we're visiting the museum dedicated to corporate missteps like Crystal Pepsi and orange juice flavored cereal to see what can be learned from these so-called failures. It's Friday, April 14th.
Around the city, and there's not one area of the city that has not been impacted.
This video from the Sun Sentinel shows car after car stranded in both directions in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And before the roads could even drain or dry, another storm.
That car is creating a wake.
Fort Lauderdale Airport still closed last night. The tarmac and access roads inundated. This man paddleboarding in his neighborhood in Pembroke Pines, but the high waters were life-threatening for others.
We're in a swamp buggy about 8 feet off the ground, and take a look at the water level that we are driving through at this point. We're on our way to a gentleman that is handicapped and unable to make it out of one of these mobile homes.
The widespread flooding making rescues difficult and dangerous.
Horrible. My car it got water all the way almost to the top, and I was really scared. Then I came out and I slept over here at my neighbor's house.
At one point, more than 600 people were taken to shelters. Rescue crews are doing a grid search in hard-hit areas, going home to home to ensure people are safe.
A lot of people are still left in the neighborhood, and I'm worried about many of them. And it's a absolutely horrific.
The president spoke about the genocide between the U.S. and Ireland and the cooperation between the two countries right now on critical global issues. In addition to the diplomacy, the president did sneak in a little bit of fun. He went with the Irish Prime Minister to watch some Irish kids play Gaelic sports. And then last night, he was honored with a gala dinner at Dublin Castle. Today, it is all about President Biden's
everything all at once, bitch.
He's traveling
Genocide plus
Ireland to County Mayo,
attack my fucking president before I die.
He's going to deliver remarks in front of the cathedral.
I'm so fucking weak that you go attack my own damn president.
He took the money that he made from selling those
I'm that
and
weak.
emigrated to the United States, and he ended up.
I'm not that weak, faggot.
And Andrea, you of course.
I am not that weak, faggot.
All full circle. Karen, thank you. French unions are calling for a protest at Paris City Hall today, one day after French officials say nearly 400,000 people took to the streets. They are angry over President
Meaning, Mr. Momini was taken into custody without incident in Emeryville, California. He was transported to the San Francisco County Jail and booked on one charge of
How I know you a faggot.
murder.
Nima Momini describes himself on LinkedIn as the owner of an IT company. Officials say the two men knew each other, but they are refusing to reveal any details about the crime or a motive. Neighbors of the suspect are stunned.
Very sweet, down to earth, seemingly very professional.
Volcano's ash cloud. Nearly 30 flights to, from, and within Alaska were canceled yesterday. A volcano in Russia has been erupting this week, sending ash more than 6 miles into the air. Flight precautions are taken because ash can cause a jet engine to shut down.
And coming up, paying tribute to some of the biggest product flops.
From Olestra Pringles to Crystal Pepsi and to Jarts. We're going inside the Museum of Failure next. You're watching World News Now.
Here's your parachute. Packed it myself.
Certain it's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you for imprint certain? Certainty matters, like the certainty of congratulating coworkers or saying thank you for being a customer. With promotional products from 4imprint, our expert team is dedicated to making your satisfaction a certainty. Back to myself. Land the perfect products at 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Every detail counts. That's why I live my life with Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose. I value quality, cutting-edge tech, B2 hearing aids powered by Bose. It's powered by Bose today.
Call 800-540-1951 today to find out how you can get your Lexis at 80% less than prescription hearing aid prices.
World News Now continues after this from our ABC stations.
Haven't been heard in our government, whether those are people of color, indigenous people, LGBTQ people, to look for those doors of opportunity and not be afraid to walk through them.
That was Natalie Morales reporting. Meanwhile, another Republican is poised to join the race to challenge Donald Trump for the GOP presidential nomination. Kaylee Huey Burns spoke with South Carolina Senator Tim Scott during a pre-campaign swing through Iowa.
I'm announcing my exploratory committee for president of the United States.
For weeks, Senator Tim Scott has been on a tour of key political states. Now he's betting in the race for the Republican presidential.
The lonesome loser is apparently lonesome no more. He's got plenty of company deep in the heart of Brooklyn, New York.
It's a pop-up museum paying tribute to some of corporate America's biggest flops. Our friend comedian Tom Kelly takes us inside.
All right, let's start in the kitchen.
Our pantry is always kept organized alphabetically. What keeps a family together, Butters?
A well-organized pantry.
That's right.
All right, do you hate half-empty boxes of cereal or pasta on your shelves? What about cans mixed in with jars? Now, if your answer was yes, either question. You apparently are a racist. Loyola University Chicago Associate Prof. Jenna Drenton. on influencers who show off their organs and says that they are predominantly white women. What lies beneath the surface of this?
That the challenge that we have to face with this mission is the harsh radiation environment at Jupiter, which is very difficult for electronic spacecraft instruments. So we have to build a spacecraft which can resist to the very harsh radiation environment. That's one thing, including large solar panels. We are far from the sun, so we need to power the spacecraft with 85 square meter solar panels that we need also to protect against the radiation environment. The other challenge is that we want to make precise measurement of electric and magnetic field around Jupiter.
All I can say is that's what your dumbass get for getting in that line and not exploding it. If you thought a communication barrier for 200 fucking years meant for you behind the damn white people who did it, you dumb fuck.
On the icy moons, it's very important for our science objective to study the liquid water in particular. In space.
Please remember that the population of people who did not do that dumb shit is always going to be greater than you.
From the electromagnetic point of view, we don't want to measure the disturbances from the spacecraft.
You got a job to work for us, says Karl Marx. You learn to be afraid.
We want to measure the electric field and magnetic field from the environment around the icy moons. And for that, we need to build a first step is to find places that we call
He telling you now.
liquid water, where the ocean.
Black slaver, be scared.
Surface, how much water do we have? What is the composition? That will be the first step.
Here's your reason why. Sitting on a couch.
Then if we find that these environments are interesting for life, then the next mission will be to search for life.
Asylum seekers Josue and Raymari had a tough 5-month journey to the U.S. With the help of a lawyer, the Venezuelans came through Texas and have spent the last 3 months trying to get their footing in New York City. After months of searching and searching for work, I finally found a job. Josue landed a restaurant delivery job with just one problem: no car or money to deliver the food. That's when a group of complete strangers stepped in to help. The nonprofit Bike New York collects unwanted and damaged bikes. Those donations are repaired and given to the newest New Yorkers, the thousands of migrants who arrived over the last year.
Try it out.
Ken Podziba runs the program.
Bicycle is freedom. There's no better way of helping people acclimate and connect to the city than by giving them the opportunity to bike.
But for Josue and Raymari, it's so much more than a cheap way to get around. I'll be able to work and have an income for me and my family. I'll also be able to mobilize around the city and most of all, contribute back to this city. When Kate Dunham heard about the program, she jumped at the chance to give her unused bicycles a new home.
It just seems like a natural, easy thing to do, to know that the bike actually can make a difference for someone.
The city of New York is also involved in the program, helping get the bikes to asylum seekers who need them most. I'm very grateful for everyone who's given a hand in this, everyone who's helped us.
Too high?
It's a small gesture, but one that goes miles towards a new start. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
In 2019, we got our first ever look at a supermassive black hole. Now that photo has gotten a makeover with some assistance from artificial intelligence. You may remember this image of the black hole at the core of the Messier 87 galaxy, which is about 54 million light years from Earth. But with some help from machine learning, scientists unveiled this new image, better showing a bright ring of light believed to be formed by superheated gas falling into the black hole. The Tampa Bay Rays have been the most unbeatable team in baseball since the start of the season, literally. The Rays are 13-0 after handily beating the Boston Red Sox 9-3 on Thursday. Tampa Bay joins the 1987 Milwaukee Brewers and the 1982 Atlanta Braves as the only teams since 1901 to begin the season on a 13-game winning streak. The oldest gorilla in the world celebrated her 66th birthday Thursday. This is Fatu. She resides at the Berlin Zoo, which threw her a party featuring lots of fruit. She's a Western lowland gorilla. These types of primates are considered critically endangered and typically live about 40 years. Despite her age, the zoo describes her as a, quote, vigorous old lady with a healthy appetite. Here's a look at some of the stories we're covering in our next hour. The Justice Department says it will not bring federal charges in the case of an American woman who died in Mexico last year. I speak.
Dan, I want a raise. His name is Bob. Woolite protects your favorites from fading, pilling, and stretching, so you can wear them as long as you love them.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons.
Goodie bags and licking pup cups.
Look at those basset hounds.
Oh, they are
no
so
frowns.
cute. Look at those
among the
ears.
Basset hounds. All smiles. We got all smiles here too on this Friday because we've got a polka.
Please welcome Tatiana Ava Marie and the Avalon Jazz Band.
Politics and foreign wars, all the weather, all the scores. That's the world news polka. If you're an insomniac and a good night's sleep you lack, do the world news polka. It's late at night, you're wide awake and you're not wearing pants. So grab your world news now, mug, and everybody dance. Hey, have some fun, be a pal. Every anchor, guy and gal, do the world news polka. That's the world news polka. Do the world news polka. Who cares what the bosses think? They're a goofy crew. And if your neighbors call the cops, here's all you have to do. When they yell, it's half past three, tell them, hey, it's news to me. That's the world news polka. If you're up this late, you must be headed for the job. But hold it one more.
Your go-to team.
On our places. Bright, shiny faces.
Nate has one of the quickest minds I've ever seen.
Tony has a way of making people feel comfortable.
The best interviews feel like it's just a conversation with a neighbor.
Hey.
Haley has this unbelievable knack to ask a question that.
Science progressed, so would their understanding of diseases affecting the mind.
When they finished the autopsy, they kept the brain and put it up on the shelf and said, okay, maybe in 50 years.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it. Yes, it's the show America wants and
An ad tomorrow at 11:30. A chessboard that will capture your attention. Extraordinary. A coffee tea alarm clock that wakes up your senses. Unreal. A QR code that lets you explore and revel in a curated selection of the world's most unique and unexpected tech, fashion, home, and adventure items. Wondrous. Scan the code and discover all that awaits you at touchofmodern.com.
Joybird.com takes customizable furniture to a whole new level, so you can create furniture that complements your art, your green thumb, your fur baby, your style, your vision, your room, or just you. Mix and match your favorite colors, styles, and fabrics. Now save 30% off site-wide. Plus, get free design services at joybird.com.
The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper premieres Sunday at 8 on CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by InventHelp. Call 1-800-710-0020.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. They can help you get started with your idea.
Call now, 800-710-0020.
Hello and a warm welcome to our viewers joining us in the United States and all around the world. I'm Bianca Noble.
Max Foster joining you live from London, just ahead on CNN News.
Suspect Jack Teixeira taken into U.S. custody in connection with leaked classified documents that have recently appeared on social media sites.
Just kept coming in. He went over the thresholds. Next thing you know, we were in 2-3 feet of water.
We are seeing that the government in different statements showing that they are still deaf to the requests of the workers.
Live from London, this is CNN Newsroom with Max Foster and Bianca Nobilo.
Well, it is Friday, April the 14th, 9 a.m. here in London.
I don't give a fuck, thief.
4 a.m. in Boston, where the man suspected of leaking highly classified Pentagon documents is expected to make his first call.
The Justice Department says it will ask the Supreme Court to pause an appeals court decision that keeps access to a commonly used abortion pill, but imposes some restrictions that will make the medicine harder to get. Eye on America, Janet Shamlian takes us to Disaster City, where rescue teams prepare for the next catastrophe.
As that next big thing happens, how do we mirror that, bring it here, and then be able to train on it so people are ready to respond to it?
And Broadway's longest running show prepares to take its final bow.
This is the CBS Overnight News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We want to begin tonight with a stunning break in the investigation into the highest profile U.S. intelligence leak in years, the disclosure of Pentagon secrets about the war in Ukraine that has reverberated across the world. Under arrest tonight, a 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman named Jack Teixeira. And there are still so many questions. How did he have access to these top secret documents? And what prompted him to allegedly post military documents in his obscure online chat group with teenagers? Our Boston station, WBZ, was there, capturing his arrest live, showing heavily armed federal officers taking the suspect into custody just this afternoon outside his mom's home about an hour south of Boston. Well, tonight, we're also learning that journalists from the New York Times had identified the alleged leaker from what they call a trail of evidence, including a granite countertop. The journalist knocking on his door just moments before the FBI showed up. CBS's David Martin is going to lead us off tonight from the Pentagon with all the detail.
When the Florida House voted in favor of the bill early Thursday, anger erupted from the viewing gallery. Republicans had those protesters thrown out. Now, this is a big legislative victory for Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a likely Republican presidential candidate for 2024. The law does include exceptions in case
Authorities take a suspect into custody outside his home. What we're learning.
Oh, Bree, good morning. What's the latest on the abortion pill? There's many twists and turns here.
That's right. Good morning, Corey. Well, the case is now headed to the highest court in the land. The Attorney General will
What we're learning about the 20.
Now, this, of course, all began last Friday when a federal judge in Texas This is a big legislative victory for
Teixeira in connection with an investigation into alleged unauthorized removal, retention, and transmission of class.
That appeared to transcribe classified information. The leaks raised serious questions about how a young guardsman could have had access to such sensitive information. The Pentagon and the Department of Justice are investigating. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The Supreme Court has declined to block a settlement that will cancel some $6 billion worth of student loan debt. The class action settlement could cancel debt for more than 200,000 borrowers. The borrowers claim it should be canceled because the loans were taken out based on misrepresentations made by their schools. It should be noted that the case is unrelated to President Biden's efforts to forgive student loan debt, with a ruling due in that case in the next 2 months.
Former President Trump spent 8 hours at a deposition in Manhattan Thursday, testifying in a civil lawsuit.
There's one desperate ass move. That's one desperate ass move.
Brought by a New York Attorney General, Letitia James. The case alleges that the Trump organization falsified financial statements in order.
You wake up 100 years later and realize you behind the whole line. That's one desperate ass move, bitch.
To obtain loans. A spokesperson for the New York AG's office said that Trump spoke a lot during the deposition, while Trump attorney Alina Lama said in a statement that the.
First of all, bitch, if your excuse is that the price is too high and you have no clue how it got there or how to keep it down so that it remains fair, then it's fair for somebody, you dumb bitch.
The president was not only willing, but also eager to testify. This comes as a federal court in Washington Thursday refused to rule on whether Mr. Trump can be shielded from a defamation.
So you and Jane go get behind the National Guard for white people and get in that line.
Lawsuit brought by writer E.J. Carroll. The court said it did did not have enough facts to decide whether Trump was acting as president when he accused Carol in June of 2019 of lying about her allegation that she was raped by Trump in the room in the mid-90s. The case was sent back to the Second District Court of Appeal in New York. Trump has said in a deposition that he never met Carol at the store and didn't know who she was. Lawyers for both Trump and Carol were not immediately available for comment.
Just days after two mass shootings rocked this nation.
And then somehow your conscience is going to convince you that the Constitution that protects all life tells you to go into your neighborhood and start throwing darkies in jail.
This time in Nashville.
Oh, Jesus. Don't bring that shit to me, bitch. Don't bring that shit to me. Especially right now. I mean, you got one of them faggots they call his that just got his blood running through my body, calling himself my brother right now. Don't bring that shit to me.
On Thursday as activists
I'm trying to deny the fact that he got my blood running through him. Yeah. And here I am, forced to call this bitch my brother for the rest of my motherfucking life.
One of them, a single-story home on this block in Savannah, Georgia, where Thomas spent part of his
So
childhood.
you bitches can keep buying and selling him. I don't know how many times y'all done bought and sold this bitch.
84-year-old mother.
In the world, and on Thursday, staff at the Berlin Zoo helps her celebrate her 66th birthday.
She just looks wise.
Yeah.
If I too receive it.
By the way, I'm miserable because I know how to count my money and know, oh, that's a little bitty car. This ain't no big car. This a little bitty car.
Basket with
That bitch buying airplanes flying around and shit need to get in a boat. Quit buying all this motherfucking gas and use some of them fucking currents out there because, bitch, this is a look car.
30 flights to, from, and within Alaska were canceled.
I mean, even when they fix the fucking records, it's just enough to work. Not thrive at working, not being a better worker. It's just enough to stay working. And if them bitches, like they do with me, take a dime out that bitch, then you can't work no more. If you end up not being able to go back to work and end up buying your shit from them, you can call it, bitch. You can call it. No, you get original Medicare, go. That means you finna die. No, that's it. That's calling it right there because that's a kickback. That is not for live people. Original Medicare is a kickback for the dead.
Thursday as activists stormed the headquarters of
Bullshit to me. I mean, you literally, you know how you go on your job, you get days off. Bitch, you get on disability and take a motherfucking day off and want your whole life go in the trash.
York, we're expecting another record.
You spend the next fucking 30 years fighting with the Social Security Administration talking about, bitch, I took that day off. I was sick. 30 motherfucking years fighting with them bitches about one damn day.
Killed 5 people.